I'm optimistic in that I hope that the next generation of artists will rebel against this lame, insipid bunch.
Hi, I'm Eduardo, senior editor and writer for Fire, and we are down here in Memphis talking to some interesting and intelligent people about free speech and free expression. And I'm here today with Winston Marshall, my buddy. Thank you for being here, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Great to see you again.
Yeah, so you've had I know you've talked about it before, so we won't dwell, but you've had a very interesting trajectory in your life. You are not currently doing what you used to be doing, and the reason is because you tweeted something. Tell us a little bit about what that tweet was.
I had been tweeting about books I was reading through the pandemic. One of those books was Andy Ngo's, a Vietnamese-American conservative journalist. His book called Unmasked, which documented the Antifa movement through 2019, 2020, and the BLM riots, the 19 people killed in the first 14 days of those riots. It turns out I shouldn't have been interested in it. It blew up by the end of...
And wasn't the tweet just, this is really interesting?
It was, congratulations on your book. You're a brave guy. He was a brave guy. He'd been attacked during his reporting on the Antifa thugs. And you know, put himself at considerable risk to even put that book together. So I thought he was a brave guy. My world came apart over that 2 days. Somehow it went up all the trending lists on Your Country and Mine. And I should say that's got a couple of people here at Freedom Fest I've been talking to have been in that sort of situation, and when the eye of the storm, when you're really like the center of everyone's focus, it's not a pleasant experience at all, particularly if you're not used to it. Now, I'd spent 14 years in the band Mumford Sons, and at various points we'd had a lot of attention on us, but it was never like this. Firstly, it was somewhat shared between the four of us, but also it was never quite so invasive into our private lives as this was. These activists, so not only is it was a segment on Tucker and The View, but they come after every aspect of your life. They harass people that they might know who know you. They try and infiltrate your Wikipedia page, your emails, everything, and they're threatening. It's pretty scary. It'd probably be less scary if it didn't feel like they actually had a power, but it turns out that they did have an influence, and I was forced to apologize and was told to take time away from the band to examine my blind spots, which I agreed to because I was open to the idea that I didn't know the whole topic. In the coming months, I really dug into the issue of Antifa and BLM, and I came to the conclusion not only that I was right, that was important, that violence is bad, that looting is bad, but the journalist Andy Ngo was attacked once again. And when I saw that, I was like, well, I'm on the side of the bad guys if I'm apologizing basically for this sort of behavior that is attacking this journalist again.
Well, to be clear though, all of this came up because you read a book and publicly showed some form of support for it having been written, and that is what created this entire thing. So it's not necessarily even that you fully agreed or endorsed with every word. Even if you do, that wasn't really what it was about. It was just the fact that you decided to associate in any way with this thing that led to all this stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right. Or re-articulate that is that there are a bunch of taboo topics that you cannot, deviate. It's like a religion. I think a lot of the things, whether it's
very dogmatic.
Yeah, BLM or Antifa, but it's the same on environment stuff, trans stuff. You see this. How many apology letters are we seeing being issued by various celebrities because they said the wrong thing on trans? I mean, look at what's happened to J.K. Rowling on a regular basis. Like, what are the other taboo topics? Well, there are a few of them, and people are religious about them. It's the same way as if you're blaspheming against, the Prophet Muhammad. And, it's the same sort of reaction. No, these ideas can't be contested. Look at what happens if anyone shows vaccine skepticism, they're called a vaccine denialist or a COVID denialist, where immediate jumps to this like outlandish position. I took vaccines, but it's not. I'm not. I don't necessarily agree that vaccines are bad, but I certainly see how a lot of people will be religious about these topics,
that's the interesting thing is that it's not so much about whether you're right or wrong. It's even broaching the topic is a problem, right? So if your friends and your bandmates were like, hey, you have some blind spots here. Here are the things that maybe you don't understand. Here are maybe the things that you're not missing. That's all well and good. Maybe you are missing things. Maybe you do have blind spots. So it's not necessarily that's not even really the question, is whether you're right or wrong. It's just, it's almost just the fact that you dared to broach the topic at all. And the censoriousness with which you were met after you even broached the topic, I think opens us up to this bigger issue where there's just a censoriousness overall, a climate of censoriousness, particularly in the arts. You talk about this a lot. So tell us a little bit about your perspective there. What do you think is going on as someone who's a veteran of the music industry?
There's a story of a British Sri Lankan pop star called MIA. Mm-hmm. She had a big song called Paper Planes. You might be familiar with it. Earlier this year, she got cancelled from a music festival, Field Day Festival. And the reason given was her quote online opinions. And the festival went on to say, she's entitled to her own opinions, but we don't want to be associated with those opinions. We are a politically neutral festival, so we've decided best that she doesn't play. Well, of course, by cancelling someone for their political opinions to remain politically neutral is not a politically neutral position or behaviour. Yeah. And MIA sort of, there's no apology involved. She took it on the chin. This is really bad because young artists will see, a lot of artists are self-censoring. They'll see this and be like, okay, if we criticize these ideas, it's going to cost us the big payday of a festival. And festivals make a lot of money for artists. It's there's not a lot of money in streaming and online. It's really from even touring doesn't make you very much. It's from the festivals, and the festivals sort of help spring up the budget throughout the rest of the year. These artists will see, a young artist will see an MIA getting punished for having the wrong opinions. They'll self-censor. That's like a natural reaction. Now, she took it on the chin, and it's kind of rather fitting that I think the lead song on her new album has the refrain, "Freedom is a state of mind." And my hope is that the next generation of artists will look back and see MIA as a hero. I already do see her as a hero. And they'll see the other censorious artists the same way we have been talking about the PRMC. And I hope that the artists of the future will see MIA as, okay, well, there were some artists who were like badass and actually stood up to this nonsense. And I really hope they look on the rest of the behavior with disdain, and I think they will. It's just awful.
So are you optimistic about the future? Do you think this is
I'm optimistic in that I hope that the next generation of artists will rebel against this lame, insipid bunch.
That's another bit of human nature. Just like the censoriousness, there's that rebellion. Well, Winston, thanks for talking to us. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
God bless you, Angel.